future, shattered dreams, end of times ain't what it seems.
Hello, friends. It's Sam Cheney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, August 20th, 2026. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. We have Ruckus on the line, so we'll get through the intro as quickly as possible. Apologies for being a few minutes late. We had some set difficulties over here behind the scenes. I think I fixed it with some baling wire and duct tape on our shoestring budget. All right, what do we got today? A whole lot of news. Economic D-Day's been declared against Iran on Iran War Day 173. We're going to take a look at that. Triggering antiseptic speech coming out of Mike Huckabee. He says, "Thou shalt not steal" to the ultra-Zionist aardvark settlers. That's basically the secret of the universe. They don't get it because they're lying criminal scum. But yeah, thou shalt not steal is the secret of the universe. I know. It's a lot more complicated than that, but that's the basics of it. And then we have Scott Bessent on television saying that he doesn't understand oil prices. So that gives me a lot of confidence in the U.S. Treasury Department and the overall U.S. economy. What else did we got? Geopolitical news, bunch of economic news, and the genocide there in Lebanon. And Gaza continues. And all this triggering antiseptic talk coming out of your usual Zionist suspects is on the back of it's now international news all over the place. This siege they're doing on a family in the occupied West Bank. What are we on now? Day 12, I believe. Day 12, depending on where you are in the world, maybe day 13 already. And so that's now drawn international condemnation from the UK, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, and Canada. I know, I'm shaking from the antiseptic hate they're putting out here, calling out this the ultra-Zionist settler violence there in the occupied West Bank. We'll cover all that and much more on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. On this day in history, I trimmed it down. I trimmed it down here for us because we have Ruckus on the line. But we go way back, way back. They told us on this day of August 20th, we go back to the year 480 BC before Christ, Battle of Thermopylae. The battle for Western civilization. It's always a battle for Western civilization. Be scared of the Muslims. Never notice the fact that ultra-Zionists have literally taken over all facets of society. Anyhow, back to on this day, 480 BC, Battle of Thermopylae happened. In one of history's most famous last stands, 7,000 warriors from an alliance of Greek states led Leonidas the First block the passage of the Thermopylae for a week against an invading Persian army under Xerxes the First, estimated at 120 to 300,000 strong. And we fast forward in history to the year 2. On this day, planets Venus and Jupiter in conjunction are theorized to possibly be the astronomical explanation for the Star of Bethlehem. Then we fast forward again in history to the year 1000. On this day, Hungary is established as a Christian kingdom by Stephen I of Hungary, celebrated today as the Foundation Day of Hungary. On this day then we fast way forward in history again to 1866. On this day in 1866, President Andrew Johnson issues Proclamation 157 declaring the, quote, insurrection in Texas officially over and officially ending the United States Civil War. On this day in 1908, we saw the Great White Fleet, as racist as it is. America's Great White Fleet arrives in Sydney, Australia, greeted with a tremendous welcome. 221 American sailors desert to stay in Australia, as hateful and racist as they are in the Great White Fleet there. On this day in 2010, we saw the Great Fire destroys 3 million acres of timber and results in 87 deaths over 2 days in Idaho and Montana. On this day, 1964, we saw the Warsaw Pact invasion of Czechoslovakia. 250,000 Soviet and Warsaw Pact troops invade Czechoslovakia at night to suppress the Prague Spring. 1974 on this day. Who we all voted for, obviously, Nelson Rockefeller is selected as U.S. Vice President by Gerald Ford. Fallout still being felt from a JFK assassination, but everybody voted for Nelson Rockefeller to be VP, right? Sure they did. He was appointed by Gerald Ford on this day, 1974. 1982 on this day, U.S. Marines land in Beirut, Lebanon. We may be going back soon. There's already military advisors on the ground there, quote, advisors. And then on this day in 2020, everybody's favorite fake Epstein propagandist, fake right-wing populist leader, Steve Bannon, is arrested and charged with fraud over a fundraising campaign to build a wall on the Mexico border. And then on this day in our civil liberties history, a giant PDF, the Kinsey report on sexual behavior of women, to be published. The New York Times reported on this day that the Kinsey report on sexual behavior in the human female was scheduled to be published later in the year. So pumping up the PDFs there, old Alfred Kinsey. And then here's our segue to the news. Darth Vader goes to a city council meeting or county board of supervisors, I don't know which, in San Diego, coming out in favor of the flock surveillance cameras, as we all should be, because everybody needs a colonoscopy 24/7, 365 with a camera up your rear end for your own safety. Darth Vader agrees.
The Emperor is a fan of block, and we must continue utilizing block technologies so that we can follow and surveil the rebel scum as they move from playground to playground, from playground to pool, from pool to gymnasium, because we all know that the block cameras are not only following the license plate readers, they are following children. They are following children in parks and gymnasiums, and we need this. I need this so I can stalk my ex-girlfriend. Also, it should be known that the people of this town, the poors that want their storm drains cleared, they should not have their storm drains cleared. Because in order to do that, we will have to raise taxes. And how will the people trust this city council when this city council continues to vote for surveillance technology that imprisons them? Miss Campbell, you must work on your Jedi mind tricks. Do it like this. And when you do it, make sure that when you're double speaking them into telling them that police services have become more humanitarian, make sure that you don't emphasize the detail that you put a ban on camping. You put a ban. You made criminalizing homelessness illegal, and that is why there is no such thing as humanitarian policing for the homeless, because we have effectively criminalized homelessness, which is good. Now we can staff. Now we can fill our jails with free prison labor, especially like that of the Otay Mason Detention Center, where they are making $1 a day for working for 12 hours. And there have been multiple cases of tuberculosis. Yes, and this is good. This is what the Emperor needs. This technology will help us find the rebel scum and their hidden base on Hoth. This technology will help us find Luke Skywalker as he traverses the universe in his X-Wing. This technology is a necessary force.
Thank you. Roger Ross? Roger Ross.
Ruckus, how you doing this Thursday?
I'm wonderful, Sam. That right there cheers me up. Everybody needs some cheering up every once in a while, right? Here, I'll help cheer up all you fine folks out there. You should all cheer up. I'll tell you why. Because we made it through the hardest part. The toughest part is still to come, and then the worst part. Oh, wait a minute. Damn it. Anyways. Fun. I do appreciate what that guy was trying to do there, but I'm guessing that there were probably more than a handful of people in the room who did not appreciate his antics. But yeah, he might have gone a little too far with that. But yeah, that's fun stuff. It's certainly better than the like Spider-Mans and people farting in the theaters and weird stuff that I've seen with other costumed people out there in public. But yep, good job there, whoever you were, sir. That's right. The empire needs its flock cameras. So who's going to tell him that they don't really need their flock cameras because they already scored a lucrative contract with Axon? Oops.
Melania Trump was spotted in public for the first time in a while. She made an appearance today after many rumors of the falling out between her and Trump over Epstein and his weird, Trump's weird sidekick assistant lady, Carp. Just all the weirdness. They're just weird freak shows. Okay, I don't know how else to describe it, but she wanted to show she's still hanging in there with the White House.
I didn't even notice that she wasn't around. Now that you say it, she has seemed to have been kind of somewhere else lately.
Ruckus people have been saying ever since she came out and did that Epstein press conference, she's been very low key about public appearances.
I think she did something since then, which was the last time that we saw her in public, and it was that weird, creepy thing with the robot. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
That
very,
was
very low
Epstein.
key after that.
Yeah.
Information liberation. Chris Meehan reports that he says, I predicted over a year ago that Trump's Golden Dome project was just to help Aardvark land. Now the Aardvark Institute for National Security Affairs, JINSA, new plan for the next U.S. Aardvark land MOU affirms just that. Aardvark land wants to be formally included in the Golden Dome project, and they want us to pay them for the Iron Dome tech they developed with our money. Our greatest ally calls this a partnership. Our defense industrial base is being designed around protecting Aardvark land rather than the United States. Right there. And he says he predicted this, which he did on the X. He posted, this is May 22nd, 2025, over a year ago. He says, America isn't coming under endless missile attacks and has no pressing need for an Iron Dome. This project, which could cost as much as $542 billion, is aimed at taking away our best and brightest from pressing U.S. needs to develop a new Iron Dome tech to share with Aardvark land. And so he did call it there. So follow information liberation. He's proving the Aardvark land conspiracy, the Aardvark conspiracy, by just posting their meetings. So there you go.
It's a bit of a lopsided, unbalanced partnership there, isn't it?
That'll be enough hate. Every single citizen has a chance to achieve what we now hear a lot about, the American dream. The White House posted this today. How much more disconnected can these guys be? They're in their own echo chamber of goy slop, Hebrew cricket juice. I don't know what the hell. Like, bro. And tell me what you were saying before, a little bit before we went on. The most ratioed account on X is now the White House.
It seems that way. I go in there and to make a snide comment, and I'm like, "Oh shoot, everybody already beat me." But it never gets like an official like community note. I've noticed they come on there and just blast a bunch of baloney nonsense and lies, and so I'm like, do we all have to go in there and just individually fact check them all the time? It's like that's a full-time job and it's tiring. I tried to make it through an entire day where I would reply to every single post that the White House forwarded, whether it was their own post or one that they did like a reply or requote, repost or whatever they call it, right? And like it's just they post a lot, and it's a lot of garbage that needs to get fact checked. So, but I'm happy to see that people are out there like basically just trolling them all day long, and they deserve it. So
it's a lame duck
funny.
presidency. The Republicans are going to lose the midterms, and we're going to get 2 years of. At this point, the best we could hope for, I guess, in this corrupt government is a stalemate where they don't do much, which is actually how the system is designed to operate. Not all this Operation Warp Speed, everything. The republic, as designed by the founders, is designed to operate at a snail's pace. We have checks and balances, 3 branches of government, so on and so on. I know civics in America is a conspiracy theory now, but sometimes somebody may want to look it up, because all this bullshit, yeah, it's just maybe this is the best we can do in the current system, Ruckus, is to have a lame duck presidency and a stalemate in the Congress. What do you think? Or you're full on, let's just warp speed technocracy, brain chip everybody, and shoot everybody to Mars?
I may or may not just be sitting on the sidelines waiting for the next revolution, but you know. Any day now. I'm like the guy in the Bitcoin meme with the stick pointing it. I'm like, this really, they're giving people, they're not that, I'm not saying, and I am saying, or I'm not saying, it doesn't matter, but I'm saying that in general, what this country was founded on and the things that the current administration is doing is so blatantly in your face against the law from toenail to head. It's so, I'm like, the administration are giving the citizens of the United States of America absolutely zero recourse other than the obvious one, which is a revolution. And that would make sense, because what are the things that they're trying to clamp down on their hardest is to try to prevent exactly that. So
there was an ISIS attack reported earlier today, Ruckus, so watch out.
Sure, that looked totally legit too. Oh my God.
Economic D-Day, Trump has declared. He put out a big old post. I can't even read it all. It's nonsense. But the highlight here, this will be an economic D-Day. He's declaring economic D-Day against Iran because apparently we couldn't defeat them militarily. So now we're raising the bar. And it's back to the same old routine. Who's going to be hurt by these economic sanctions? It's going to be Joe Blow, Iranian. And the thinking behind it is, we're going to piss them off. We're going to put them in such poverty, they're going to have no recourse but to have a revolution and overthrow their government. We have tried this many, many times, and it still hasn't worked. But Joe Blow, Iranian, have fun with your economic D-Day and starving to death. And maybe you'll have some sustenance in your body to overthrow the corrupt Ayatollah and the mullah regime.
Well, by that, argument, I guess we're headed for one of our own eventually, because this shit is all going to come home to slap us in the face.
Ruckus, the real economic D-Day for America is the threshold of the national debt crossing $40 trillion yesterday, and all the insane interest tied to it. It's just not tenable, unsustainable, and bankrupt.
Some serious problems going on in the bond markets and all sorts of shady stuff. This is not going to end well for anyone around the world, but it's also not going to end well for America. So if we're hurt economically, as if we basically we hit ourselves, we sanctioned ourselves, and now we're starving, are we going to pull our heads out of our butts and rise up and overthrow our government? I mean, because that's what they do, right? We'll see.
Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump.
Scott Bassett.
She trusted in Trump so much she had to bail. Way to go.
Scott Bassett, the Treasury Secretary, says this is going to be the greatest coordinated economic isolation in the history of the world. It is a 1-2 punch. We have a blockade, and we are going to have the toughest sanctions in history. all the high ups in Iran government have secret Switzerland bank accounts and all over the rest of the world. It's not affecting them. It's affecting Joe Blow Iranian. They don't give a damn. But I thought we were liberating the American people is why we're trying to overthrow and do regime change of their tyrannical Ayatollah-led government. So it's a very schizophrenic foreign policy, as per usual, coming out of America.
But it's just, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon.
That's
Period.
right. That's right. Tehran rejects Trump's D-Day sanctions, saying sanctions will bring us further, will bring further defeat. Argachai, he's always talking a big mess out there. I don't know how they haven't assassinated this guy. Argachai, foreign minister of Iran, says the so-called economic D-Day is a diversion from America's own crisis. It's hard to argue with that. Unprecedented debt and surging interest costs. Doubling down on failed policies will only bring further defeat and enmity of Iranians, U.S. economic terrorism threats, global economy, and sovereignty worldwide. And he posted this graph here. So he posted the story and then he posted this graph. Yeah, it's fine, right? Don't be a panicking. Jeez. It's hard to argue with.
If that was a stock graph, I would want to be invested. Oh, but it's not.
Did you see Moderna's yesterday on it's just, how do you even describe that level of fraud? It literally went straight up and it's like, wow, they have a cancer miracle and you believe them after everything. It's just like, it's nonsense. Give me a break. But yeah, more rigging.
Well, in this case, I might trust them because they might be the experts in the C word. So, yeah.
Mr. Technocracy VP JD Vance said that we're kind of now in a new phase where the most effective tool that we have is economic pressure. So like backhandedly admitting military defeat here to Iran.
World's most powerful military, Sam. That's us. Yep.
More casualty numbers quietly coming out of the Pentagon. Pentagon says over 750 U.S. troops wounded during the Iran war, and more casualties are going to come out. There's still only the reporting. They always say mix up casualties and deaths, so we'll just say injured and dead. More than 750 U.S. service members were wounded during the Iran war. The Pentagon has quietly admitted earlier today. The total number of U.S. troops wounded during the Iran war so far, admitted officially by the Pentagon, 757 wounded U.S. service members and 18 officially killed. I believe that number killed is a lot higher, and the wounded number is a lot higher, but it is rising here now, Ruckus, very quietly.
Yep. Just a couple weeks ago, those numbers were much lower. Yep. Although they were probably, as we've been saying multiple times, the numbers are probably way higher, and they're just going to slowly trickle out the news. Yep.
It's painful to be right about such matters. But it's also painful that our government does nothing but lie to us about everything. That's even more painful. Let's see here. More shit talking out of Iran. Who's this guy? Chairman of National Security and Foreign Policy Committee of the Iranian Parliament, Ibrahim Azizi. He said this. Iran's talking big smack right now. We are watching your every move. Any further mistake or miscalculation will carry consequences far greater than before. End your presence in the region immediately before it is too late and accept Iran's new regional order. That's friggin' big talk. Big talk. They're feeling pretty confident in Iran right now, according to all the rhetoric coming out of their leaders.
It's probably fake news.
That was he posted that on X. from his official account. Maybe he's fake news. I don't know.
He's a communist, folks.
He's a radical, but you got your rhetoric wrong. Well, you're halfway right. Who are we to fear more, the communist or the radical Islam?
He's an Islamic communist. There you
go. There you go. You got him. Here's Fox News. I believe this poor soul here, Joey Jones is his name. He's a disabled veteran. I believe both his legs were blown off in overseas combat. So I do feel sorry for him, but this is his message to sailors on the USS Abraham Lincoln and the entire Navy who are upset about the conditions of their deployment. Here's his message there on Fox News to the sailors out there.
How weak are you on TV complaining about tuna and noodles? I'm sorry. You volunteered to serve your country.
This is bizarre behavior. They're usually
he shot Osama bin Laden or something. So
no, he didn't.
Oh,
no,
it's the other guy.
No, he didn't. He's a Mr. America, but he's got both. I feel sorry for the guy, honestly. How could you still support this evil empire after you've had both your legs blown off? But I guess the pay is great there at Fox News to prop up this propaganda.
Plus, it's entry level to Trump administration 3.0.
Department of War meme of the day. They keep telling us we got another report. They backed off one drone program. Department of War drone dominance program will rapidly arm warfighters with drones capable of delivering lethal effects in the most demanding battlefields. By 2027, the drone dominance program intends to purchase over 200,000 American-made drones to maintain battlefield superiority. American drone dominance, American flag, hoorah, there, ruckus.
Nerdy Radio Shack stuff.
They backed off one drone program. We'll get to later in the program here. Les Wexner steps down as Wexner Medical Center board chairman. How is he? Well, he bought the place, basically, is how he was, and held on this long. New board chairs also refresh the committee structure and appointments. And OSU chief of communications Ben Johnson said as a reason they're refreshing the appointments. Has nothing to do with it's been fully exposed that he's was in large part Epstein financier and all up in all of those dark and dirty deeds.
Well, no one cares about that. You're still talking about that? Are people still talking about Epstein?
I talk about it every day because it's a window into evil and should and exposes a lot of the high ups that why these people are scum and they deserve to be disrespected, and they're all a bunch of con men, baby eater blood drinkers, and it's just F all these clowns. They're not smart. They're not nothing. They're low. I view them the same way they view the goy. Is how I view these people, just for my elitist mindset here, Ruckus.
Whoa, slow the TDS down, Sam.
Eric Swalwell pissed off somebody high up because he was the front runner for Democrat governor here in the state of California. FBI agents confront Eric Swalwell at San Francisco airport and seize his electronics as part of a sexual misconduct investigation. He pissed somebody off, did something. And so they're throwing the book at old Eric Swalwell, who, again, not too long ago was Democrat frontrunner for governor here in the state of California.
Are you implying that they would only convict people in politics of such crimes if they're upset with them personally over something? Otherwise, they could get away with these crimes all day long? This
has been known. They've had this dirt on this dude for years and let him sit there in Congress and vote for China and whatever other tyranny he wants to vote for years and years and years. all of a sudden they're throwing the book at him. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
System moves slow, Sam. This is just proof that they were on top of it this whole time. He was on a list. He was on our list, right? What's the expression?
He pissed somebody high up off, and now they're throwing the book at him.
Yeah.
Is this Epstein? The Department of Education posted this this meme right here, Ruckus. Is this Epstein in the racing? What do you think? See that? That's on today's thumbnail. Department of Education posted this, and of course they're promoting the Grand Prix race celebrating America 250 this weekend. But it looks suspiciously like that's Trump. Obviously, that's the World Wrestling lady, head of Department of Education, Linda McMahon. And that suspiciously enough looks like Epstein on the other little go-kart there. What do you think?
I didn't get a chance to see the picture up close, but is there a small chance it was supposed to be RFK Jr.?
It could.
Or,
it
or
could.
Vance, even? I mean,
it's a gray hair dude. Let me give you a better look at the image, because it is not that great on their screenshot on this Daily Beast article. Let me pull it up here for you, because I went to the actual Department of Education and got it from the
so it's got Trump,
primary source.
It's got the education lady, right?
Mm-hmm. Linda McMahon.
All right.
Doing elbow drops on your child's education from the top rope. So I mean, here it is. Let's take a look. Could this be confused with Epstein?
The symbol on that person's go-kart, is it different than the symbols on the other people's carts?
It is. That's like a Mercedes-looking symbol. And Trump, of course, has the eagle, which we can get into on another show. And she has Department of Ed. She's the Secretary of Federal Education.
We're going to have to figure it out by the insignia, but it could be Space Force, and I forget who's in charge of all of that.
Well, they're missing big, because the majority of the internet thinks it's Epstein. So there you go. They're missing big on this AI slop they're trying to serve up to the public. Top House Democrat puts Melania Trump on notice over Epstein. They're Democrat Robert Garcia. He's the head of Democrat House Oversight Committee. He's says Melania Trump could find herself facing questions under oath about Jeffrey Epstein if Democrats win back control of the House. So we could expect, when they win back control of the House, that ongoing for next 2 years, Epstein hearings. Exciting news, right? Ranking member Robert Garcia demands Chairman James Comer bring Attorney General Todd Blanche before Oversight Committee. Would you trust the Attorney General if he takes the Fifth Amendment to enforce law and order here in America, Ruckus?
Blanche is going to take the Fifth Amendment?
No, I'm just saying. If he did.
He won't have to. He has his own way of completely ignoring the question. And
okay,
you know,
he is a great lawyer, right? Lawyer.
Yeah. I can't believe they nominated that guy or confirmed him or whatever.
I can.
It's ridiculous.
Keeping the Epstein files cover up going there.
It's more than just that. He's way too close to this guy.
He's Trump's personal attorney.
I see no problem there, right? Says the emperor.
That's the Epstein reporting we have for today. Some good news here for Meta owner Mark Zuckerberg. Him and his wife, Priscilla Chan, bought a Gaelic Irish castle in the county of Waterford for around 20 to 30 million pounds. A spokesman for Mark Zuckerberg said he looks forward to spending more time in Ireland. So maybe they're not all going to go hide in underground bunkers. Is there an underground bunker underneath this castle? There you go. So living it up in the castle, Mark Zuckerberg on the back of our data. Love it there.
You can't. I hope they all get castles. That's what they should do. They should all just stop pretending and just all go live in freaking ritzy castles. All the rest of us plebs are eating mud. Yeah.
Amazon is destroying, and we've been reporting on this, Amazon is destroying tons of rare books to feed its AI training. Yahoo Finance reports this practice was first reported by 404 Media, which placed a tracking device in a rare book that ultimately arrived at an Amazon facility in Las Vegas. Companies like Amazon need unfathomably large amounts of text to train their LLMs, which have already ingested what they can from the internet, according to TechCrunch. So now they're moving on to physical media in the real world, i.e. the conspiracy theory that are books, and they're destroying the books once they've scanned them into their private database for all of our benefit, Ruckus.
Yeah, fun stuff. I like how it's like all of a sudden brand new news and everyone's, oh, blah, and that one like, oh, we broke the, I reported about that over a year ago. I can't remember if it was on TNT or actually I think it was on my own program, The Daily Ruckus, for one of the AI series that I was working on. Yeah, and I think I specifically reported on the one that everyone's talking about, the Project Panama one. But yeah, they've been doing this for a while. That's the problem. It's like once everybody starts hearing about it and starts it's like it's far too late. Like a lot of the damage has already been done. You know, we saw that happen with the 2020 thing. We're seeing that happen with the genocide thing. Just happens way too crazy. We're going to see that with, they're like, oh shoot, I guess that guy was robbing us blind. Who could have seen it coming? Hello. You know, and then people like us never get any credit, and then new grifters come on the scene and be like, oh my God, did you see what that guy did? He's terrible. And they're like, yeah, that guy's great. We should throw our support behind him. And like, where were you the whole time, buddy? Yeah, anyway.
Some good news here, and that was good reporting, bringing it a year early there. Thankfully now, but like you said, it probably is too late. Yahoo Finance is finally catching up to the real news. More Perfect Union posts this, and they're Democrat left-wing leaning, but they say opposition to data centers and concern about AI are now issues that unite people across demographics and ideology. So maybe somehow, some way, we can all rally together against scientific dictatorship, technocracy, the Greater North America Project. Maybe.
Well, there's just one problem with that. Voting is like the adult version of writing a letter to Santa Claus. So, you know, there's that.
There is that. But Jimothy is still out there on the loose.
Jimothy gives me nightmares. Do we have to do Jimothy?
The opposition to data centers is rising exponentially. Both parties should take note. More Perfect Union says, yeah, they should. They don't care. They literally don't care. More proof that we're living in scientific dictatorship already. You see town hall after town hall after town hall, city council, county board of supervisor after meeting after meeting of opposition to these things. And even the local, all the way down to local governments, literally tell their constituents, F off, we do what we want. Same thing we saw during the bat times, Ruckus.
But that means they won't be voted into office next time, Sam. Don't they care about getting voted in again? Or do they care about the gobs of money that they just made and they're going to run out the back door? You decide. But they work for the people. Sure. Last time I checked, most people work for money, but what do I know?
The illusion that is American democracy.
Say what you will about God and the Bible, but they were right about one thing. For the love of money is the root of all evil. nothing truer has ever been said, as far as I can tell.
Walmart just received a $2.9 billion tariff refund, massively boosting the company's profit. Regular people paid the cost of tariffs by and large across America, but now corporations are getting huge checks from the government while working people get nothing. And Howard Lutnick, I'll add to that report out of More Perfect Union. Howard Lutnick and his firm Cantor Fitzgerald have should all be in prison for rigging the tariffs, betting against them when they were implementing the policy, knowing they were unconstitutional and going to fail. Like what else?
A word for that? Like it's a conflict of interest. I like that.
It's called racketeering. They created a problem that didn't even exist in the first place and then profited off of it. They created a racket. We continue to have strong dollar policy. That's what Scott Bassett said. I just can't even hang with this guy. He says, what we're seeing in core inflation, both in goods and services, is down, and that's what matters. We have the biggest decrease in pharma prices in history. You can't afford to eat. Get your $50 off Ozempic at trumprx.gov, Ruckus. That's literally what they're telling us here now.
I have a good idea. We should take all of the pharmaceutical products and instead of actually putting like any of the warnings,
wrap them in a mask and shove them up Bobby Kennedy's rear end.
Well, we could do that. Or we should put nutritional facts on the side of the products. That way, you know, smart shoppers, they can know which one of the, is it Ozempic that has the most protein content? How many carbohydrates is in that insulin shot there, sir? I'm on a low carb diet. No booster shots for me this month.
They do all have drug inserts, except for the experimental miracles, but everybody should read the ingredients. I do agree. You should not do drugs, first off, especially system drugs, but read the ingredients for yourself, man, and it'll scare the hell out of you. Nobody does. It's a big old sheet. It's a big old sheet, right, with Bible thin paper, big old giant sheet in freaking 0.2 font or something. They do that so because they know nobody will read it, but you should, especially if you're taking these drugs. My God. This number blew my mind. I was reporting on all the implications of the $40 trillion threshold being passed of official U.S. national debt. That's not even counting the unfunded liabilities now. This number just blows my mind here, Ruckus. Reported out of ABC 7, $40,000 per second. Right?
Damn.
Data from the U.S. Congress Joint Economic Committee revealed that the national debt grew at an astonishing rate of $90,000 per second. I know they devalued the dollar like 98% since 1913, but that's still a staggering figure for poor little Joe Blow me out here. $90,000 per second. It's how fast
Trump has been spending. You know, Congress spending. You know, that's what happens.
Again, I'm going to reiterate, this is the Kabasi report from yesterday, or Kabasi letter, excuse me. They say, what stops this train? The U.S. government is now spending $3.8 billion with a B on interest per day. That's another mind-blowing figure. 3.8 billion with a B on interest per day. By 2028, estimates show that the U.S. will spend $5 billion per day on interest, more than any other category. To put it into perspective, the United States spends $3.1 billion per day on Medicare and $2.5 billion on war spending. That's incredible.
Just a suggestion here. I think I can see one place we might be able to cut back if we're willing to, you know, stop doing the war thing. You know, just a thought.
All right, that's communist talk.
I know. I got TDS though, right?
Listen,
Under any other president, I'm totally pro-war, but just because this guy's in office, that's the only reason I hate death and suffering.
right.
Otherwise, bring it on, baby, because TDS,
That's
whatever.
right. That's
I'm being
right.
sarcastic, everybody.
That's right. If you didn't hate Trump, you'd love killing brown kids. Damn you. Continuing here, report out of Reuters. Yeah, it's all rigged, all fake and gay, and yeah, it really sucks. More than 150 polymarket wallets may have traded on military secrets. Report out of Reuters. Yeah. A new anti-corruption data collection study identified 152 polymarket wallets that may have traded using non-public U.S. military information. The wallets collectively made about $8 million with an extraordinary 97.2 average win rate on military and defense bets. Researchers say some suspicious wagers appeared shortly before U.S. military actions, including strikes involving Iran, and were quickly copied by the large traders and bots. Because polymarket transactions are publicly visible on the blockchain, researchers warn that these trades could effectively broadcast sensitive military signals to foreign intelligence services. The findings don't prove insider trading. Luck or other explanations are possible, but they are adding pressure for tighter regulation, including identifying verification and restrictions on prediction markets involving sensitive government information.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There you go. That's the ultimate, is part of all of these things. You'll see a lot of problems that could be, quote unquote, solved by the implementation of some sort of digital ID. Otherwise, they could care less about people insider trading on these platforms. In fact, the platform itself, as well as the stockholders who own shares in this company, could care less about anybody winning or losing. They just care about people spending their money there because they make a shit ton of money off of the fees and the fact that you're there. Also, all of the fascinating social engineering going on. They're not just studying and getting a temperature check on society. They're literally injecting and changing policy through these platforms. It's very frightening. It's happening at like a very high level intelligence. You want to talk about 7D chess. I think Whitney Webb has been discussing this kind of stuff. So check out her work that she's been doing in this department, as well as other great alternative folks. But yeah, I think you already understand how all of this works, but they're not wrong about the fact that, I mean, because of how it's working with the, you know, the CIA, the intelligence, the manipulation, the propaganda and all that shit. Yeah, it's basically like giving away all your secrets ahead of time to the enemy. But again, I think, you know, it's all wrestling anyways, you know what I mean? So again, I think a lot of this is more about social engineering and trying to change consensus and do things rather than, oh, what do they think is going to happen? No, I think they're projecting what they want us to think is happening, if that makes sense.
But Reuters has an anti-corruption data collection.
Well, Reuters is king, right? Yeah, trust everything they say.
Bond yields rebound, easing the drop that followed Bassett's intervention. Treasury yields climbed earlier today, wiping out most of the previous day's decline after the Treasury Department moved to ease pressure on long-dated government debt, according to CNBC. The 30-year Treasury yield rose more than 6 basis points to 5.256%, and the 10-year, the benchmark for mortgages and auto loans, moved above 4.7%. Both back near where they sat before Wednesday's announcement. The reversal, CNBC noted, underscored the difficulty of market interventions as U.S. debt faces mounting pressure, including record corporate borrowing tied to the AI build-out and national debt that just topped 40 trillion. The buybacks byline the underlying structural challenges and do nothing to address them, JP Morgan said. It's a freaking disaster.
It's a bubble, the AI thing that's going to pop all over everybody's face. It's not going to be pretty.
You can't make this up. The Kabasi letter says you can't make this up. At 8:15 a.m. Eastern time yesterday, the 10-year note yield was trading at 4.68% when the U.S. Treasury announced it would be increasing bond buybacks to $4 billion. The yield fell to a low of 6.3% as the U.S. Treasury pledged to provide liquidity support. Exactly 24 hours later, the 10-year note yield is above levels seen prior to the announcement at 4.71%. So in non-technical financial lingo, the U.S. Treasury attempted to prop up the short-term bond market and failed, and now the returns are the interest required to pay to sell those debt notes is higher than before they intervened.
It's like taking a loss.
It's taking a big loss.
I thought they always had this weird backup plan to get crypto involved, like have the stable coins purchasing the bonds.
We're not there yet.
We'll see.
We're not there yet. But the Treasury has egg all over their face. Our entire financial institution, led by the government, has egg all over their face. But thankfully, more funding for Depop agenda here now is being reported today. Trump administration hands Bill Gates, Gavi, Miracle Syndicate $600 million. And so thankfully, we're still funding that operation.
Who did that?
Trump administration.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Weird.
He gave this guy.
Wait a minute. Gavi, wait a minute. Didn't RFK Jr. have some words about that place? I'm confused.
This guy gave this guy $600 million.
Make this make sense.
For his Miracle Maha.
Well, he is the godfather of the miracles, so, you know, or the grandfather, or the whatever he says.
Brent crude oil futures passed $94 a barrel today, hitting inter-trade highs of $94.71. The spike marks the fifth consecutive session of gains for global benchmark, aggressively reversing a cooling trend from earlier in the month. Here's Treasury Secretary Scott Bassett admitting, he says, we got a spike in oil prices today that I don't really understand. This is the guy leading the U.S. Treasury Department, setting sanctions, doing bond buybacks, all these different type of manipulations, but he is admitting here now on C-SPAN he doesn't understand the price of oil today. Let's watch this short clip.
What's your reaction to how they've done?
Yeah, well, look, anything that happens within a 24-hour period is noise. And, you know, I think that once the market understands that we are focusing on fiscal consolidation and that we are trying to bring the market back into equilibrium in a thinly traded market, I think, you know, I'm confident that bonds will continue declining. We've got a spike in oil prices today that I don't really understand. You know, our announcement is for economic action.
What? This doesn't give me much confidence in the system, Ruckus. I'm sorry to say. I love all Trump's lies. I love Bassett's lies. I love all their lies. But I'm just starting to really lose confidence in the system at this point.
Well, they've got to be doing something while they're there. They can't just be, like, hanging out, having cocktails on the helipad with Trump before they go to the ballroom.
The energy market's rising crack spread. We've been reporting the last 3 days. This is where it really hits Main Street with the crack spread of the cost of diesel now over $100. And it's going to precipitate all through the economy as most transport is still made using diesel fuel, Ruckus. And so we haven't seen nothing yet as far as price increases as long as this trend continues.
Well, the next guy will fix everything, I'm sure.
Tucker,
Or gal.
AOC, maybe.
Yeah, there you go. She froze her eggs.
She's doing half-naked videos now. Like,
Oh, God.
she's pulling up her shirt like all the way like this. Look, here's how I do it. Like soft porn, basically. It's just like these people are actors. They're not genuine. It's a freaking Masonic stage play, and they're laughing in our face. For God's sake, people. Okay, continuing here. Back to the hard economic facts of the day. The EPA is allowing winter grade gasoline 2 weeks early under an emergency waiver as gas prices near $4.10 on average across America amid the Iran war on day number 173.
I'm not sure what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
It's more manipulation. To try to paper over all of their failures. They're manipulating here, sticking their finger in the dike here. At some point, they're going to run out of fingers and the whole thing, house of cards, the dike is going to collapse and the levee is going to flood us out, to use those analogies, Ruckus.
Yeah, well, I know how to swim. It's okay.
Isn't there's a Tool song about that? What's the Tool song? You know which one I'm talking about. Learn to Swim. It's talking about the Armageddon and into the world. All this. That's a great song. I forget the Anima or something like that. Anyhow, so people have been missing. I see here and there. We got some Lego videos back. Here's a Lego video from Iran mocking America about our $40 trillion in national debt. Let's play this short clip. People have been missing the Lego videos.
40 trillion. Run the tab, red tie, blue tie, both kept swiping that. 40 trillion. Who pays back interest past Medicare? Check the math. 40 trillion. Same old game. Borrow from tomorrow, leave the kids with the pain. 40 trillion. Say it loud, they maxed out America and still look proud. 20 trillion when the first term began. Now 40 on the meter. Tell me who had a plan. COVID blew the ceiling. Tax cuts dug deep. Bombs did the blank check. Workers get squeezed. Debt keeps climbing while they beg us to believe. Long bonds screaming lenders want more. Still finding billions for another foreign war. Left wing, right wing, same credit line. Change the man at the desk, never change the design. Every generation gets handed the bill. 40 trillion deep in their spending it still. Who ran the tab? Washington. Who gets the bill? Your kids. How much? 40 trillion. 40 trillion. Run the tab, red tie, blue tie, both kept swiping that. 40 trillion. Say it loud, they maxed out America and still look proud. Sacred defense. Different parties. Same credit card. 40 trillion. Hormus still closed. Sacred defense.
Well, at least the Strait of Hormuz is open, Ruckus, so we can get this oil economy back on track.
Thank goodness. Whoever made that video clearly knows more about how economies work than Scott Bessent. Can we make them our Secretary of Treasury?
I've been saying this whole war, Iran has way better accountants and economists than America, especially coming out of the Pentagon.
And much better propaganda. Sorry, Natalie Harp.
Here's China propaganda mocking us now. So the world's having fun at our expense. I hope you're happy, MAGA, and the rest of you clowns, because we look like damn fools to the rest of the world.
Put it on the card. Everybody takes it. What? I haven't even hit the limit.
There's a payment due, and the interest is piling up. You've got quite a situation here.
Easy. Hello? It's me again. Fancy another round of investment? It's risk-free. For me. See?
Wait, you just borrowed new money to pay the old bill?
We call that refinancing.
How are you still getting loans? Shouldn't your financial situation have gotten you blacklisted by now?
Well, everyone needs my dollars, and my IOs happen to be denominated in my dollars. Convenient, huh?
You're getting close to the debt ceiling. Maybe you could put something back?
Are you crazy? These are urgently needed.
I know what your priorities are now.
And if I hit the ceiling, I'll just move the ceiling, like I always do.
Who's gonna handle the debt finally?
Relax. Just kick the can down the road. Future Eagles will handle it.
Was that one of the Baldwins doing the voice of the eagle?
I don't know.
Sounded like him.
Propaganda out of China mocking us over the national debt.
Well, they're not wrong.
Here's a job opportunity for those out there looking to help build Skynet and further enslave us. Department of War posted the Office of Strategic Capital post application for National Security Fund Finance Program. There you go. Apply right here. OSC's website, and you can apply at sam.gov right there. I'll link it up for those interested in joining up with Skynet at Weaponized News Substack.
Don't do that.
We're now above, as been reported here now, according to AAA national average for the price of gallon of gasoline in America, $4.10, Ruckus. So we're edging up here again, edging up well above the $4 threshold. And then one more.
I just can't understand why. I mean, just like Scott Bessent.
The new winter blend is coming in, so maybe that can help reduce gas prices. To hell with the environment. Brown University, Watson School of International and Public Affairs, the Iran War Energy Cost Tracker, the total consumer burden since the beginning of the Iran War, February 28, 2026, we're up to $88.1 billion. And then the per household cost spread across both gasoline and diesel is up to $672.82 per U.S. household there. But thankfully, we control the Strait of Hormuz. We've had regime change, and now Iran is a Western democracy, Ruckus.
Okay.
Wait, none of that has happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't place those bets on Polymarket, Sam.
Okay, let's take
financial advice.
Let's take is betting, like, how can you say, oh, make a bet? That's financial advice. I guess when the economy is based on a casino, then that would be considered financial advice. It's a sad state of affairs we find ourselves in. Help support independent reporting and analysis, brought to you 5 days a week at weaponizednews.com. Go to weaponizednews.com/shop. Get yourself a sticker there. You got the holograph sticker, the white background sticker, the clear sticker, weaponizednews.com/shop. Check out the gear there, t-shirts, baseball caps, coffee mugs, shot glasses, weaponizednews.com/shop. We take donations, buy me a coffee, Bitcoin wallet address, cash app links, all in the description below this video. Become a paid subscriber at Weaponized News Substack. I didn't see any. Did you see anybody else in the media? I certainly didn't. Ruckus reporting on U.S. National Security Science and Technology Strategy for 2026. I did it here at Weaponized News. No one else will do it. So I do it here. It's free. It's in the documentary section on YouTube and on your other channels. I think I uploaded it to YouTube, Rumble, and Odysee and Substack. So there you go. Nobody else even reports on it, notices, or cares. You might want to take a look at that document. Weaponized News Substack, become a paid subscriber. Everything's free there, but show your support for independent reporting and analysis, brought to you 5 days a week, broadcasting live 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time. Become a paid subscriber. Weaponized News Substack. The link's in the description below this video. It's all free. You can become a free subscriber. Give us the like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Any which way you choose to support us is much appreciated. Go ahead and plug away there, Ruckus, please.
Sure. Now, to be fair and to correct you, I did find like 1 or 2 articles written about that national security science thing, but it was basically it was one article because the second article was a repost of the first article because both outlets are owned by the same company. But it's one of those like pro U.S. government technology blog things, and it was like a stance of like, hey, this is exciting news for people who follow. It was nerdy, and they did not do a deep dive or have any concerns or issues about it, and they only covered like one part of the whole thing. So, but somebody did quote unquote cover it, Sam. So I don't know. Anyways, head on over to alternatecurrentradio.com for what me and my friends do over there. Some broadcasting stuff like Boiler Room and reposts of the Sunday Wire, reposts of my appearances out and about on the interwebs under the Roundabout Ruckus moniker, and of course our friends and colleagues doing their thing, including the Odd Man Out podcast and the Mystical American Patriots Society, all of that at alternatecurrentradio.com. Otherwise, check me out over at X. It's AC_wordslinger. I do fun stuff over there sometimes. So if you're into that, follow me over there. There you go.
Right there, you can find us at Weaponized News, at AC_wordslinger. Right there on the X, the DMs are open for all of your harassment, hate, and technique.
Links in bio, ladies, or whatever.
Did they point out in that report about they're openly emitting directed energy weapons now?
It was some space thing. They were like focused on some space thing. They were just like, it was really dumb, dude. It's just dumb stuff. I'm like, did an AI chatbot write this for you, sir? If you're interested, I'll send you the article.
Yeah, send it to me. And I went through it on video in less than 20 minutes. I don't see anybody else doing that out there, Ruckus. Okay. That's the value we're giving you here at Weaponized News. Continuing and putting it in proper perspective and not bragging it up.
Nextgov.com. I knew I was going to remember the name. It's one of those types of websites.
Putting it in populist perspective here from Weaponized News, pointing out the fact it is the framework of scientific dictatorship technocracy, the Greater North America Project. That is what that document is all about. You might want to look at it. I don't know, or just wear your whatever, Meta glasses, I guess. I don't know. Okay, continuing here. Hormuz shipping traffic remains stalled amid U.S.-Iran deadlock. There's very little traffic now, according to all these different trackers, ship tracker agencies going through the Strait of Hormuz. Kepler data showed that 27 commodity vessels passed through Bab al-Mandab. That's on the other side. The Houthis are blocking. Strait of Hormuz traffic remained unchanged from yesterday. It was like 9 commodity vessels transited the Strait of Hormuz yesterday. Same with today. 9. Trump told me it's open for business and there's nothing to worry about. Somebody's lying. I guess Kepler needs to be sanctioned and droned. What do you think, Ruckus?
Is that a person or a place or a thing?
It's a thing. It's a data track. It's a ship tracking service. Data tracking service.
Go for it. Yeah, have fun. Bab al-Mandeb Strait. That's the one that's by one of my all-time favorite places on the map, Djibouti.
Bab al-Mandab Strait. That's the one the Houthis got the guns pointing at everybody's face. If you're working with Saudi Arabia, they shoot you in the face.
It's between Iraq and Djibouti.
Oh, man. And then I guess let's take a look at the map here. 6 armed individuals boarded and seized control of an oil products tanker sailing through the Gulf of Aden off the coast of Yemen and redirected the vessel towards Somalia, according to tracking data from marine traffic and advisories issued by the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations. The 32,200 DWT vessel had updated its destination to Port of Sudan before entering the Somali high-risk area. The ship broadcast a distress signal on VHF Channel 16 reporting an approach by an unauthorized craft. Do you think this was some of these? We don't know. Could this have been some of these dreaded Somali pirates? Here's a look on the map about. So, of course, Strait of Hormuz up here, Al Dab Strait, and then down in here, the Gulf of Aden is where it got jacked, somewhere around here. It's a very rough neighborhood. Right? You got Somali pirates, you got terrorists running around all over the place. You got America with giant guns everywhere. Our freaking Navy putting up a naval blockade. You got Iran pointing guns everywhere. It's freaking, this place is the most dangerous place in the world. This right around in here. You may just get shot in the face for looking at somebody sideways. Right there, Ruckus.
As long as it's not dangerous to look at the map, here, safe at home. Maybe.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. More on the USS Abraham Lincoln. That old Joey Jones from Fox News says, what did he say? Just toughen up, basically.
How weak are you?
How weak are you? He has 2 legs blowing off. You'd think he'd have his brain. Well, obviously has brain damage because he's still working for this corrupt system that blew his freaking legs off. I feel bad for you, brother Joey Jones. No disrespect, but brother, you're sending out more troops to get their legs blown off over there out of Fox News. Come on, get with the program of humanity here. Anyway, continuing. The USS Abraham Lincoln began its journey home to San Diego on Thursday after a 9-month deployment, much of it supporting U.S. operations against Iran. Its roughly 5,000 sailors spent nearly all of the 272 days of deployment at sea amid reports of supply shortages, water and plumbing problems, and worsening conditions aboard the carrier. The Japanese-based USS George Washington has replaced the Lincoln in the Middle East duties. The Lincoln now faces a roughly 13,000-mile journey home, expected to take 4 to 5 weeks, according to a report out of the failing New York Times. So they still have a month-long journey to make it back to the port in San Diego. I guess, what did Joey Jones say? Toughen up, right?
They're going to have to, I guess. They don't really have a choice, you know what I mean?
Could commit suicide.
Well, stop. But there's yeah, clearly that's an issue. I mean, but yeah, what are they going to do? I mean, geez, this sucks, right? Anyways, but hey, they signed up for it. That's exactly what they signed up for. They were like, we're going to go fight America's freedom by going stir crazy on a ship.
Fight our freedom or fight for our freedom?
Fight for freedom or whatever we're doing.
No, you said fight our freedom. I think that's actually what they're doing. They're fighting our freedom.
They certainly didn't sign up. Like nobody wanted to go to war against an enemy of any sort, or whatever the reason they joined the military, just to get stabbed by one of their shipmates over like toilet paper or shampoo. You know what I mean?
I thought you joined the U.S. military to kill brown children.
Well, that's why most people would join. Obviously, I guess. No.
Ruckus, we're stopping terrorism. Okay, so. Federal authorities.
I thought this was over the nuclear bomb thing. I'm so confused.
No, we're stopping terrorism in New York State now.
Okay.
Federal authorities arrested Jessica Bowie, 35, of Albany, New York, accusing her of planning to bomb the New York State Capitol and kill state senators. According to the FBI, Bowie pledged allegiance to ISIS, which is a Western intelligence operation, but maybe somebody would let these dupe patsies in on the game. I don't know, or listen to Weaponized News. Anyhow, reportedly surveilled the Capitol, sought help making explosives, and discussed disguising a bomb in a food delivery bag. She is charged with attempting to provide material support for ISIS, i.e. terrorist network run by Western intelligence.
She was surveilling the place, like out in public.
and very low key and indiscreetly
Why wouldn't
in the
anybody?
beekeeper outfit,
Oh,
Ruckus. She
I
literally
was
had
wondering.
she had the beekeeper outfit on and thought that no one would be suspicious.
Well, no, that explains everything. I was like, why wouldn't somebody think that somebody out there surveilling a place would look suspicious? That you see that immediately you know there's nothing suspicious going on here, or at least you're never going to say anything about it because you would hate to look insensitive or oh yeah, okay. Well, nothing to see here. This is totally normal, folks.
Here she is
Yeah.
Ruckus. Here she is at Home Depot buying the goods to make a bomb. She thinks
Good stuff. Yeah,
but
sure.
she's been dog walked by the FBI through this whole thing. Western intelligence sitting on top of that. We demand better patsies, for God's sake. But I guess they're keeping us safe, so we should be happy from the terrorists that
I don't know if that was
that they
really
radicalize, arm, and send out on missions.
The person in both of those pictures are supposed to be the same person. I don't know. The one where she's shopping, she looks like she was wearing a mask. I don't think that's the same person. I think they're trying to pull a fast one on us, Sam.
Western
You know how good those
intelligence
masks are. You know, I mean, they look very like it's almost the exact same face in those pictures, but there's just something slightly off there. I can't put my finger on it.
She's a frequent social media user who has used the platforms to espouse anti-American messages. So ridiculous. That's a report from the BBC. Well, thank you guys for keeping
I hate
us safe.
to admit it, but I've done the exact same thing, and I've not pledged to ISIS or to anyone or anything. I have a lot of complaints about what's going on. Can you blame me?
Yemen announced new attacks on Saudi Aramco facilities, sensitive site. And so there's a war going on. The Houthis, they're out of Yemen and Saudi Arabia. They're blowing the hell out of each other. Thankfully here, well, maybe Aardvarkland can attack Turkey next. Miriam Adelson owned Aardvark Hayom newspaper. They're out of Aardvarkland. Reports that Aardvarkland has studied how NATO's Article 5 works, because Turkey is part of NATO. An attack on them would trigger Article 5 theoretically and bring all of NATO in defense of Turkey against Aardvarkland. But they found a workaround, as our sneaky Aardvarks do. They published in the Aardvark Hayom that their workaround here, they claim that Aardvarkland could attack Turkish troops without triggering NATO intervention because it doesn't cover Turkish military doing exercises in Syria, is their claim here now. What do you think?
Did they have to write a whole article playing this theory out? Like, well, here's how we could get away with it. Hello? I'm like, anyways, yeah, there's cool.
Studied how Aardvarkland studied not only how NATO's Article 5 operates, but where it applies. The treaty protects Turkish territory. Turkish troops do not carry that territory with them onto Syrian or occupied Cypriot soil. And so they're saying that if they whack them in Syria, because they just whacked Syria, claiming they had Turkish troops there training, right? And that's caused this international uproar. And so they're claiming if they whack them on Syrian soil, then NATO Article 5 doesn't apply.
But just to be clear, Aardvarkland openly wants to kill Turkish soldiers.
Yeah.
Why?
Because they're Muslim terrorists.
Okay. All right. Makes sense, I guess.
Because they're genocidal maniacs is actually why. But if to drill down a little bit, because they're damn terrorists.
I think we're well past this expression of you give these people an inch and they take a mile.
Oh, we got more. We got
What
more,
the
Ruckus.
F? Oh, there's more. I mean, well,
There's a
Israel
lot
doesn't,
more.
or Aardvark land, they don't fail to. Oh my gosh! All right, go ahead.
On to Russia. Russia vows proportionate response to Ukraine strikes, warns Kiev to abandon dangerous illusion of victory. Ukraine hits Russian oil and power sites in an overnight drone barrage, blacking out much of Crimea. And so they're continuing these giant drone attacks on Russian logistics hubs, on their warehouses of wild berries, on their petroleum manufacturing capacity, targeting a bunch of different refineries there in Russia, deep inside Russia here now, escalating.
I think Russia fired back. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Russia's bombing the hell out of Kiev.
Not with little tiny drones, by the way.
No, they're launching big missiles, hypersonic missiles. Ukraine developed a plan to send up to 1,000 AI-guided drones per night against Russia's airports, aiming to shut down civilian air travel and pressure Russian elites into pushing Putin toward negotiations. The drones would use onboard AI and map matching to identify targets without human pilots, potentially bypassing Russian electronic jamming. Report out of the Atlantic said.
How are they going to bypass the electronic jamming? Anyways, but that's neat. Because AI is so special, whatever.
U.S. Army scraps futuristic drone assault battalion in favor of airborne infantry. The U.S. Army will end the dedicated drone assault mission of a 600-soldier battalion created in Europe in January to test unmanned warfare, returning the formation to its core airborne infantry role after a final major exercise in Germany. So they're winding down this drone program there.
Or so they're saying.
So they're saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, anyways, yeah.
On to Cuba. We're still waiting for the shoe to drop for us to invade Cuba. They keep talking it up. They're out of the White House and the State Department. Little Marco Rubio posted today out of the State Department, the Cuban regime has spent decades using front groups to infiltrate, corrupt, and radicalize Americans. Today, I'm sanctioning the leadership of ICAP, which is one of the primary organizations involved in these efforts, including convicted Cuban spy Fernando Gonzalez Lort and 9 entities that sustain and fund the regime's repressive apparatus. Some more sanctions on Cuba there. Exciting,
Sanctions. Ay.
Weaponized dollar. An AI-powered drone registered to United States defense contractor Shield AI, which holds an $800 million U.S. Navy contract, has supplied drones to Aardvark land military throughout the genocide in Gaza, was detected at the site of a suspected CIA bombing documented by Ecuadorian fishermen. We're using, it's insane. It's literally insane what's going on there in the very quiet war on drugs to build out the greater North America in Mexico, Central, and South America, Ruckus.
War on drugs. Ha 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 ha.
They're keeping
this is also Iran can't have a nuclear weapon.
That's why we're killing Ecuadorian fishermen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all related. Trust the plan.
The U.S. denies involvement in the attack. So there you go. Hey, maybe it's not earthquake weapons. Maybe it really is the Ring of Fire. 6.7 magnitude earthquake struck Peru earlier today. So we're seeing a trend of earthquakes around the Ring of Fire. it feels like we're going to see more here now. A lot of volcanic activity coming to life. A magnitude 6.7 earthquake shook Peru's southern Andes mountains earlier today, injuring at least 2 people and damaging homes, health center, and schools. Peruvian authorities said. So thankfully not that much loss of life or damage, but a lot of these earthquakes kicking off recently, Ruckus.
And you being in California, that's got to be concerning, right?
Yeah. I've been praying for the earthquake, just like the Tool song
big
says.
one, huh? Yeah.
Just like the Tool song says, yeah. Praying for tidal waves, however it says. Because China actually convicts their corrupt elites, as opposed to America giving them giant government contracts. Evergrande founder Huni Ka Yan was sentenced to life in prison after pleading guilty to 8 charges, including fraud, bribery, and misuse of funds. The court also fined Evergrande, I guess that's how you pronounce it, Evergrande, $1.3 billion, confiscating his assets, and sentenced 5 other executives to prison, marking a dramatic end of one of China's biggest property empires. This dude. Should he get a place in the Trump administration, Ruckus?
Yeah, why aren't we pardoning this guy already?
China tends to throw the book at them when their elites, it comes out that they're screwing over a bunch of people. They put them in prison for life or give them the death penalty. Over here in America,
the government has the rights to do all that there, and nobody else.
Over here in America, we make them president.
At least you can compete if you want to be corrupt too. I mean, you have a chance here, you know.
Oh, the free market, right?
It's quite capitalism. What are you, a communist?
Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. We have a lot of hate now. We're going to see as there's a big aardvark election coming up here now. And so it's like, it's hard to measure this level of hate. But former Aardvark Land Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, he says that we've lost the United States. We've lost the world. He declared that Aardvark Land has lost both the United States and the wider global community, describing the nation's current international standing as the most terrible low point since its establishment. Speaking on his future political plans, Bennett announced that the next government will establish a dedicated national public diplomacy body operating directly under the Prime Minister's office. He likened the initiative to Unit 8200 for intelligence, stating that the proposed Unit 8300 would be built specifically for the battle over public consciousness, influence, and the strategic fight against regional adversaries. I still love him.
Part mean?
I still love him. I don't know what he's talking about. Turkey said, back to the Aardvark Land attack on Syria with Turkish forces involved there. Turkey said today that it, quote, will not fall into the trap. It says Aardvark Land is setting following an Aardvark Land strike on Syrian airbase, and claims that a Turkish military delegation had recently visited the site. We are experienced enough not to fall into the trap of figures like Netanyahu, who aim to undermine peace and stability in our region, said Duran, the Turkish presidency's director of communications. There you go. Don't be fooled by sneaky aardvarks.
Well, that's great, but who keeps getting fooled by sneaky aardvarks? Oh, dang it!
Because they want Turkey to make a move. Aardvark land is they're extremely provocative everywhere, poking everywhere around. They want somebody else to make a move so then they can use that as an excuse. Oh my gosh, we're the victims. They're the terrorists. Give us all your money. Give us everything you got and go fight our wars. And the whole routine we're already seeing, but they want to expand the routine here now. Poking Jordan, poking the Muslims at the Al-Aqsa Mosque, poking Turkey over here, poking all over the place, poking NATO, poking everybody. They want an escalation. They're trying to bring about their evil prophecies here now. It's a very apparent, Ruckus. Any which way they can bring it about, they're hell-bent on apocalypse.
Well, I'm against all that. I mean, I
Well,
didn't
you're
sign
hateful.
up for this.
That's hateful.
I'm not hell. All right, I can play along. That's right. TDS. I'm a communist. Hateful. All those things. Yeah, no. It's getting to a point where like it really doesn't make any effing sense, and I don't know who's left, who's buying this. It doesn't even matter. I mean, Aardvark land is just gonna do what they want to do. They literally don't care. Trump is like, oh, we got peace. We made a deal, and Aardvark land is like, whatever, we're just going to keep doing our thing. Like,
Every
oh,
time
crap.
there's a peace deal, they do a giant massacre.
So why does any of this matter? It's like just a giant waste. It's so crazy. I don't get it. I'm just at a loss for words anymore about this stuff.
Well, the Vatican has made a statement here now. The Vatican expresses serious concern over Aardvark land Lebanon framework implementation following a private audience between Pope Leo XIV and Lebanese President Anoun at the Vatican. The Holy See voiced serious concerns regarding ongoing difficulties in implementing the U.S.-backed agreement between Aardvark land and Lebanon. There's allegedly a peace agreement framework going on there, a ceasefire, and they've been they've been bombing the hell out of Lebanon continually here now.
Setting it on fire and stuff, dude. They blew up an entire town, wiped it off the map. Boom, gone. Neat.
It's ongoing. In an official statement, the Vatican welcomed the initial signaling of the document while pledging its active support for diplomatic efforts to resolve implementation hurdles following discussions with high-ranking officials, including Cardinal Petro Parolin and Paul Richard Gallagher. So there's that report. On to the demolition of Lebanon. There's just report after report here. It's ongoing. Artillery shelling, Aardvark land warplane attacks, explosions, more artillery shelling, more artillery shelling, more artillery shelling, another explosion, heavy machine gun fire. It's
Did they sprinkle in a little white phosphorus just for good measure?
Just a report out of the cradle documenting all of these attacks. You can see ongoing. Aardvark land artillery shelling, Aardvark military vehicle movements. You can see right here the videos, and it goes on here. Artillery shelling here now in southern Lebanon earlier today, Tolusa there. And it just goes on and on here, Ruckus. Right there, still images of leveling the place. Aardvark land occupation forces continue to target and burn residential buildings in southern Lebanon. Tolusa attack here. There's more, but wait, there's more. Here's a big explosion. Aardvark land occupation forces carry out demolitions between Zwatar and Saqif in southern Lebanon. Giant explosion here. Geez, that's kind of a big one. Oh, but yet there's more, Ruckus. Moments ago, this was we'll just say 24, within the past 24 hours for the sake of accuracy here. Aardvark land artillery shelling targeted Montessori area there in southern Lebanon. It's just ongoing everywhere, basically. You can see right there a little dust. It's just a little dust up. They're just destroying the whole area. And then finally to wrap up, old Ben Gvir, who's now famously yesterday, well, he's called over the last week for killing 30 to 40 Palestinians a night. yesterday he was all over the media proudly displaying his gallows that he's built, that he's going to stream live on the internet and have live audiences watching the public hangings of Palestinians. And so now Ben Gvir is saying that he says, well, here he is. Here he is on their Aardvark television shows, just to show everybody. It's in Aardvark, so I'll just read you. I'll just give you the readout here. He says in this short clip, he says, I have a son who is now going in and out of Lebanon with his reconnaissance unit. And I'm telling you, he and his friends deserve for us to bomb Beirut. So there you go. Openly calling to bomb Beirut on the back of the fact they have a ceasefire peace agreement in effect, brokered by America. So
Beirut is a well-known, the entire place is nothing but one giant military complex for terrorism. This is like, we learn about this in school. Oh, wait a minute. Like, none of these targets are the things, those pictures that are all this, none of this has anything to do with military targets. It's all civilian structures. It's all civilian targets. There's no official story to suggest that, like, well, it's because they're so-and-so's using them as human shields, or they got bunkers or tunnels. There is literally, they're not saying anything. They're just like, just blow it up. Just civilian, just kill them. Look, who cares? Who's going to question it? Literally, where is what is the excuse for this?
Bro,
There
he's
is
on
none.
our TV with the freaking noose lapel pin, for God's sake, saying bomb Lebanon or bomb Beirut. They're already bombing Lebanon, but move up a little north and bomb Beirut, Lebanon. I mean, dude, this is the national hero for Aardvark land. Dude has a noose on his lapel pin saying he's going to hang Palestinian, quote, terrorist prisoners.
He's a man of peace, Sam. He loves peace. That guy right there.
Wowzers.
No, he
Wowzers.
does not. Clearly, he never pretends to say that he likes peace.
He
He's one of
doesn't,
those
at
types.
least-
No.
At least they're forthcoming and outright, and they don't
That
even
one
have
is,
to
yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
So they're transparent in their evil.
Wonder what Mike Huckabee has to say about that guy.
We're going to get to some comments, I do believe, from Huckabee about the ultra-Zionist settlers, but back to Gaza now. You're like, they're still whacking Palestinians in Gaza, right? Yeah, they are. That genocide continues. In Gaza, Palestinians held a funeral procession for the remains of 50 members of the Al-Swafari al-Bat-Najat and Kamar families, or excuse me, Karam families. Those bodies were discovered from beneath the rubble of their homes nearly 3 years after they were killed on the Gaza Strip in the demolition campaign there. And so they're wiping out complete bloodlines, entire families of Palestinians to never return to the land there, Ruckus.
Winning.
Aardvark land shot dead a 15-year-old Palestinian boy in northern Gaza earlier today. Footage appears to show him shot in the head at close range. We won't show it to you here at Weaponized News because we'll be banned for it, but that is going on quite horrifically enough. There's photos of him with a bullet hole in his head, so we'll spare you those tragic details. According to Gaza's health ministry, 10 Palestinians were killed and 25 others wounded in Aardvark land attacks across the Gaza Strip over the past 24 hours. So since October 11, 2025, the Gaza Ministry of Health now reports 1,283 Palestinians have been killed, 4,248 wounded, and 813 bodies have been recovered from the rubble so far. Finally, the occupied West Bank here now. Tucker speaking out. He says Americans killed by Aardvark land pogrom. Ultra-Zionist settlers are attacking and killing Americans there in the occupied West Bank. Let's hear a little bit from Tucker about that. Maybe we should care. Maybe not. They're just Americans. I mean, we've been told that Aardvark's value of life is like 40 to 1 to everybody else, to all the goys. So maybe it's not
You don't
really...
like getting killed by aardvark settlers? How weak are you? Oh, sorry.
You may have a future at Fox News, Ruckus.
A dozen American citizens have been murdered in pogroms in the occupied territories that Israel controls, the West Bank. And they've been murdered by Israelis, mostly Israeli settlers, the ones conducting these pogroms. Armed by the U.S. government, carrying American rifles. And if you think the term pogrom is too strong, you don't know the details of what's happening there. Israeli settlers, many of them American citizens, carrying American weapons, murdering the local population.
I saw old Rabbi Shmuley suggesting that they assassinate Tucker. So maybe that would, for the greater good, for his speaking out about them killing Americans.
I saw that clip, but I'd watched it twice, and I'm like, yeah, I guess you could make the argument that he was implying death or killing, but he never said it. He just said we need to go after them. But it was definitely within the context of, he was talking about other instances of people being killed and stuff. So it was very interesting, but like people ran with it right away and said, oh, he says to go kill Tucker and kill Candace. He didn't say that.
Just in the information war.
Man, these guys are so clever with the way they word things. It's like, damn it, we almost had him. But then it makes you look bad if you just pick it up and say, here, he said they want to kill Tucker. And then like, well, no, he didn't say that. He didn't. He was probably implying it, but, he didn't really say it.
I think we can safely say floating the idea.
I like that. Yes, we can say
not directly calling for it, but floating the idea.
We could make the case that he was allegedly floating the idea of killing Tucker or Candace. Allegedly. There you go.
There you go. That's
according
more
to
accurate.
Sources familiar with the matter.
According to him, he put out the video. But okay, Human Rights Watch now says that Aardvark land government and the settlers share the same goal of maximum land and minimum Palestinians. Human Rights Watch said Aardvark land settlers have fully or partially displaced 107 Palestinian communities, comprising some 5,900 people across the occupied West Bank since January 2023. That's even before the worst attack in the history of the world, almost like it's an agenda and ongoing. Shocking. The Aardvark land military expelled another 32,000 Palestinians, that's your ethnic cleansing program, from their homes in Jiena, Turl Karim, Nur Shams camps in January 2025. Human Rights Watch said Aardvark land authorities are arming, funding, and granting impunity to ultra-Zionist settlers responsible for the attacks, which increasingly target Palestinian homes, land, livestock, and access to water. The group cited OCH figures showing an average of 6.6. They just need another 6 there. Ultra-Zionist settler attacks resulting in casualties or property damage per day since 2026. So this year, 6.6. And I guess if you put 2026, we got our 666. And so you can know that these ultra-Zionist settlers are pure evil. Thou shalt, this is shocking, trigger warning. You may need to cover your ears, Ruckus. Thou shalt not steal, which is really the secret of the universe here now. Mike Huckabee, U.S. ambassador to Aardvark land, warns ultra-Zionist Aardvark settlers could face U.S. sanctions. And so I gave you the trigger warning. And so this transgression against evil by Mike Huckabee must be dealt with. U.S. Ambassador to Aardvark land, Mike Huckabee, has warned ultra-Zionist Aardvark land settlers involved in violence in the occupied West Bank against taking property belonging to U.S. Palestinian citizens, calling such actions, quote, a violation of God's law. And he's referring to the 10 Commandments. Huckabee said, thou shalt not steal, to the ultra-Zionist Aardvark settlers. Does anybody want to tell Mike Huckabee they're not following the Bible, bro? What do you think, Ruckus?
Is this only because it's U.S. Palestinians? Is it okay if it's just regular Palestinians?
Mm-hmm. That's
I'm surprised he even used the word Palestinian. That's shocking. Wow. Well, what does Jerry Seinfeld think? we should replace Huckabee with Seinfeld. I think we'd be better off. That's what I think. Yeah, good on you, Mike Huckabee. Welcome to the club. Where you been? I guess maybe we can we talk about the thou shalt not kill part now, sir?
No, that's all part of it, Ruckus. When you say thou shalt not steal, it's if you kill somebody that's stealing their life, you see. So that's what I'm saying. In that one little phrase is a secret to the universe. Thou shalt not steal. Steal somebody's life, steal their consent and sex, steal their physical property. All these different violations of natural rights are theft.
Well, some might argue that the first one before that happens is the coveting. So maybe the real secret is not coveting.
Huckabee went on to say, if someone owns the land and they own their house, then having someone come and take it over and scare the family away from it, that's a violation, not just of man's law, that's a violation of God's law.
He's the expert, Mike Huckabee.
What are we going to do? Now we got to get rid of Mike Huckabee for being a freaking Palestinian terrorist, essentially.
No, see, this is where it gets interesting because now he'll be able to now he'll start to sound like one of us where he's like, well, the blessing Israel, because somebody will be like, well, sir, aren't you supposed to bless those crazy, what did you call them? What are they called? The
Ultra-Zionist settlers.
Ultra-Zionist settlers. Holy moly. So, yeah.
That's what the BBC called them.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, because it got to invent a term to make sure that you distinguish between the difference between ultra-Zionist settlers and normal aardvarks, right? Or aardvark land residents versus the other people, It's all so confusing. But now he's going to make the argument. He's like, when the Bible said bless Israel, it didn't really mean to bless those ultra-Zionist settler Israel, not them. And but wait a minute, other people make this argument too about the differences between what the Bible means when it says Israel, and it's like, it's like, so he's really, he's walking on thin ice here with he's talking out of two sides of his mouth. How does he keep track of all of these things? I don't get it. Is he trying to run for president or something? Is he? Well, keep a close eye on this one. I think I just figured something out.
Well, Ruckus, he's a talented Baptist minister. So
if he starts changing his tune about some stuff, I think he wants to get more involved in politics again. That's just a prediction.
Well, again, he's a talented Baptist minister. Trigger warning. Trigger warning here. Again, trigger warning. You may be offended. We haven't seen this much hate in a long time coming out of Europe, except for when they're calling for killing 30 to 35,000 Russians a month. Besides all that hate, this is just over the top. A joint statement from leaders of UK, France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, Norway, and Canada. So trigger warning again. The Aardvark land government's decision to publish construction tenders for the E1 settlement project is unacceptable. What? The international community has long opposed this settlement expansion and has voiced their grave concerns privately and publicly. The E1 settlement will undermine the prospect of the two-state solution by driving a wedge through the West Bank and harming the territorial contiguity of the Palestinian territories. International law is clear that ultra-Zionist settlements in the West Bank are illegal. This is the position of the international community reaffirmed by the UN Security Council until vetoed by America. Excuse me, till America vetoes it. I added that part at the UN Security Council. Back to the document here, at a time of grave instability in the West Bank with unprecedented levels of violence by ultra-Zionist settlers against civilians and serious restrictions on Palestinian economy, this decision is even more concerning. We urge the government of Aardvarkland to retract these plans immediately and end its expansion of ultra-Zionist settlements in the West Bank. Not only will they take us further from peace, but they further undermined Aardvarkland's international standing. Businesses should not consider bidding for contract tenders. They should be aware of illegal and reputational consequences, including the risk of involving themselves in serious breaches of international law. We reiterate our commitment to a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace based on the two-state solution. We will continue to act in its interest. I'm shaking from the level of hate here out of these white supremacists in Europe. Ruckus, what do we do about them?
Well, we should invade them. We should bomb them. We should sanction them. There you go.
If we can get
economic terror, and if enough people are hurting in, what were these countries? France, Spain, Germany?
UK, Big Brother UK, France, Germany,
yeah.
Italy.
Maybe the people will rise up and overthrow their governments. Wouldn't that just be terrible?
If we can get Turkey to make a freaking move, then we can put all of these clowns in our sights, right?
I'm starting to see why we might need a golden dome. It looks like we might be the only ones left supporting Aardvarkland. Was our name on that? Did we sign that?
No, we did not. We don't even recognize international law. We're
Heck
sanctioning the freaking
That's
ICC.
Right. We go our own way. America.
America, hell yeah, America.
Isolationism, unless, of course, we're meddling in everybody else's affairs, when we're definitely the farthest thing from isolationist you can possibly get. But anyway.
Yeah, there's just more reporting about it. So yeah, it's Aardvarkland occupation forces continue the 12-day. It's now up to 12-day siege on 3 West Bank homes in Qusar, and that's what is causing the international outrage. What prompted that strongly worded letter about the two-state solution there? The UN has documented over 1,430 separate attacks by ultra-Zionist settlers in the occupied West Bank this year, resulting in the displacement of approximately 3,800 Palestinian residents, nearly half of whom are children. That is your ethnic cleansing program going on right there, backed up by the IDF and America.
But who trusts the United Nations? I don't.
Let's see here. Yeah, human rights lawyers are talking about it now. Let's see.
Lawyers, what do they know?
Just more attacks. At least 6 Palestinians were wounded. The Palestinian Red Crescent said in ultra-Zionist attacks across the occupied West Bank. And then final report here now, an American homeowner in the occupied West Bank village of Qusar, south of Nablus, is among residents whose homes have been besieged by ultra-Zionist settlers under IDF protection for a 12th consecutive day now. So they're putting a siege on these, they're trying to get them out of the house there. Tries they just don't bomb it, but now there's too much attention on it. They may just bomb it anyway because like they don't care. But one settler was filmed throwing the Palestinian Americans' family's belongings from the balcony while shouting, "I am the owner." Wild stuff.
I'm gonna try that.
Just go to your neighbor's house, grab their stuff,
Yeah.
throw it out the window, and say, "I am the owner," and see how the American police treat you.
Do I have to do my hair up a special way or wear a special hat or
You
anything?
need these little curly. You need the curly
Gotcha.
long sideburns. You need a little hat and a rifle issued to you by the U.S. military. Get all that together, and that's your kit, and you can go kick your neighbors out of their house and scream, "I own it now."
I would, except this is Texas. Probably not a good idea.
Oh, damn. Damn. Maybe you don't want to do that in Texas. It could, I don't know, work out. Not in my neighborhood in California either, let me tell you.
Plus, I actually know my neighbors and stuff, and they're pretty cool people. It's different out here.
Okay. Just, if you're looking for Operation Warp Speed property grab, they got the program going on there in the occupied West Bank.
I'll consider it if I convert, to Chabad Lubavitch or whatever.
To Habat. Okay, that's all the news we got for today. Ruckus says we shot for the 2 hours. We're doing good to keep it at 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. Give us the like, share, subscribe, push that notification button. Let's wrap it up with headlines from Iran International. Quickly here, Vance says Iran war enters new economic phase. We covered that. U.S. lawmakers urge strikes on IRGC. Economic pressure on Iran. Gasoline survey reignites debate over politically risky fuel. Reform in Iran. Trump says Iran's capacity to build missiles, drones, very low. Well, I thought we destroyed it all months ago. Well, turns out it's very low now. Vance says Iran could survive U.S. economic pressure for months. They say they're committed to death, so forever until you kill them all. So there you go. And Al Jazeera, U.S. latest headlines out of Al Jazeera, U.S. vows toughest sanctions on Iran. Nothing new. We covered all the details there. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday edition. Ruckus, any final words before we head to the chat and get on out of here?
No, thanks for having me. It was a blast. Check us out tomorrow for a boiler room. We'll probably be going on over at Alternate Current Radio. Should be sometime between 8 and 9 p.m. Central Time, U.S. Standard.
We'll plug it here at Weaponized News as well. Let's see. What is up with old Odysee? There we go. Heading over to Odysee now. Shout out to those viewing on Odysee. Thank you for joining us. Huffman, Val. Let's see. Fat Bob, thank you for joining us. Fat Bob, I did watch some of that Brendan O'Connell video with James Dillenpod. I think it's James Dillenpole, but he wrote it and he was mocking him. Yeah, it's all right. It was all right what he was saying there. So I did watch that. Thank you for the link, Fat Bob. I watched like the first 40 minutes of it. I'll watch the rest when I have more time. And I still need to follow up, as you do out in the audience, you researchers out there on the internet. Episode 2, season 1 of Law and Order SVU. I still haven't had a chance to look at it. Reportedly, it's Epstein is who they're reporting, or something similar. And they do have the binder there on the detective's desk labeled Epstein in that episode. Again, Law and Order SVU season 1, episode 2. Take a look at that. I still need to research that by watching the episode, but that's on my plate here, so I can come back and report to you how wonderful it all is. Okay, had to get all that out of the way. Back to Odysee channel chat. Shout out to Pink over there. Revolt, let's go, Pink says. I have a friend who is paid 60p an hour making mattresses for Argos. I don't know what that means, but
for what?
I don't know what that means. Val said. Shout out to John. Shout out to Test on the Odysee. Let's see. Yeah, Bob's linking up that interview. Thank you for that, Bob. Let's see. Back in the 60s. Yeah, I don't think I can say that. Yeah, I can't get into all the internet influencer infighting, all this. Believe me or not, I cite almost everything I talk about. So that, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it. And I'm not going to do the internet infighting. Believe whoever you want. As I say, do your own research. So I do notice
In
a
what
lot,
context?
just a lot of
Sam?
it's going on now. Alex Jones is challenging Tim Pool to a boxing match or something. Now all of a sudden Alex Jones is calling out Aardvark Land all the time, and it's just like, this is kayfabe professional wrestling. Give me a freaking break. But it's sucking up the oxygen in the room. Everybody gets sidetracked on these quote celebrity feuds. We're covering hard news here at Weaponized News, trying to give you the information you need, and we don't got time for all that soap opera BS. You know what I mean? But it does draw an audience, I understand. We're just not doing that here. We're not going to do that here.
You're really one of the very few people, Sam. I've been trying to like collate to figure out like, okay, if I can keep track of the news all week long because of what I do on Boiler Room and Sunday Wire, and I join you here and all that. I'm like, dude, it's like you and maybe the David Knight Show. These are the only programs I can find like on YouTube or Rumble where they actually just cover news items. Otherwise, it's like all this giant soap opera stuff or reaction videos of other reaction videos, commentators making comments about other commentators. It's really turned into a giant joke, dude. So kudos to you for sticking straight news. I love that. And so do the audience. I think
That's why we're
they come
here.
back here.
We're not here to make up fake, to do professional wrestling. You know what I mean? If I wanted to be a professional wrestler, I'd go put on the tights and go jump in the ring. We're here to bring you the news at Weaponized News, break the mind control. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Odysee. I appreciate it. Thank you everybody for tuning in on X, Kick, Bitchute, Substack, Rumble, and YouTube. Let's head over to those chats and see what the if we got any hardcore trolls today on the YouTube. Shout out to Karen on the Rumble, Strong on the Rumble. Shout out to you, Ruckus, on the YouTube. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Let's see here. Shout out to Carrie, Silver on the Rumbles, Phil on the Rumbles. Let's see, corrupt government. CB says, corrupt government, you were obviously blind and deaf with a severance portside list. Watched Goy on the Rumble, 40 trillion. Yeah. It's higher than that now. It's by the second. It's $90,000 a second. So imagine that. It's hard to even grasp how fast they're spending money here now. Most explosive military. We didn't get that many trolls. Vote red, crimson, MAGA red. We got one. That'll help because Republicans control all three branches of government and everything's going to shit, bro. Like, we already did that. It's not working. And that's going to push the youth into the arms of socialism. So by design, vote harder red. It's just all so ridiculously stupid at this point. They're in charge and running us into the ground, bro. You know what I mean? Your guys in the red hats. We tried that. It didn't work. I guess just blame Biden, right? I mean, it's just so stupid at this point. Trump's a complete idiot. Yeah, well, he's an actor playing a role of a U.S. president. Let's see here. Mud on the YouTube. Trump is purely evil. Yeah, we've said he's a dark occultist, master manipulator, marketer, casting spells upon the unbeknownst public. We had a Russian writing in Cyrillic. I don't even know what that means, but shout out to Frederick writing in Cyrillic over there on the YouTube.
He said trust in Trump.
Oh, in Russian?
No, I'm just
okay.
kidding.
In Cyrillic. Okay. There you go. Well, at least Trump still has support there in Russia. InfoWars is back. Doug says. Because they want to fight Tim Pool. Because Alex Jones wants to fight Tim Pool. Oh my gosh, so stupid.
AJ was also last week. I think he was saying that Trump should be impeached. I'm like, oh, where'd you come up with that idea?
Be a good goy and eat your death berries. That's what Snow says. Oh my gosh. Google sucks on the YouTube. You're not supposed to have that name, that screen name on YouTube. Google sucks 7021. You're not supposed to have that screen name. Breaking WW3 update. Aardvark Lamb blows up negotiation envoy. It's not really, it's their thing. It's like that's their policy. Is anytime there's any type of forward motion toward stopping shooting people, they massacre a bunch of people. Let's see. Al on the YouTube says cinema, they'll never make a film about those who secretly govern the United States. Of course, they control Hollywood. They prefer to make films about the Italian mafia. And a variant on the X. Great news without the BS. Thanks. Well, we try not to rant that much and get through as much information as we possibly can. All right, Ruckus, I'm going to wrap up this Thursday edition of Weaponized News. As always, everybody do your own research, peace, love, and freedom. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening. We'll see you back here on Friday for more Weaponized News. Let's pray for peace. Let's pray for peace. Hey, thou shalt not steal. Mike Huckabee, broken clock is right once a day. So there you go. Thou shalt not steal. Pray for peace.